up to now, with all the best efforts, today the wastewater generated is 62,000 million liters, out of which only about 30% capacity we have developed for treatment. And how much of that is actually treated is anybody's guess. The industry which is located in the Ganga basin, we already have a Ganga charter. There where no industry can discharge a single drop of wastewater, treated or untreated, into Ganga. But is it really happening? Is it really feasible? A few years back, when this started, zero liquid discharge started, now industries were being fined. So they had a hidden pipeline discharging somewhere else, or discharging the wastewater trade effluent, highly contaminated, into the well, so that it contaminates the groundwater. Thank you very much, Sandeep and other panelists. It's a great day today, great occasion to be amongst such a gathering. I will speak about a few things regarding water and wastewater, the sources of water, where they get contamination, how our rivers are spoiling, and all those things we will see in this. As you all know, water is most important for our survival. We need good quality potable water for survival. That's the first thing. And water comes to us from rivers or groundwater. These are the two sources which we have tapped. And groundwater, we have the limited, although it is a vast resource, but we have limited capability to draw water from deeper aquifers. Therefore, that way we are limited to that. And most of the aquifers are overexploited. Most of the blocks, 1071 blocks in India, are overexploited. Overexploited means they are drawing more water than they are recharging. Therefore, recharging the groundwater has become now the in thing. The rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Hindon, all we have managed to pollute these rivers through various wastewaters discharged into them and solid waste discharged into them. In Ganga, 13,000 million liter per day is discharged in wastewater, as wastewater. That was figure a few years back. Today it may be more. And this wastewater sewage, it eats up the oxygen which is there in the river. So river has a capacity to regenerate itself. That is called the self-purification capacity or the assimilative capacity, that how much waste we can discharge in the stretch of river so that it has no impact, no visible impact. That study also is important, and we should now, it is time that we should do that which stretch is to be exploited, how much, what is the assimilative capacity in that river stretch. Most of the rivers are polluted, even Ganga, after maybe Kanpur. Kanpur is the biggest hub where wastewater is discharged. Throughout its stretch, it is polluted. And it is so important that it is given the status of a living being. In fact, all rivers are living beings. We in India, we believe that. And the act has been formulated. Ganga River Basin Authority has been created, which looks into the water quality and the quantity. They are not rain-fed rivers. They are the perennial rivers fed from the snow melt. Now, it is estimated that they say that we will run out of fuel, run out of petroleum. But now they have changed that idea, that we will run out of water before we run out of petroleum. That is the importance of water. And water cannot be oversimplified. We have to do that. And what will happen after that? How much water can be made available? Total quantity of water in the universe is constant. It is revolving round in water cycle and remains there. In India, we have about 4,000 BCM, billion cubic meter, or kilometer cube. Yeah. 4,000 BCM water is total precipitation, out of which 1869 BCM is available. And out of that available, utilizable is only 1123, which we can harness. More than that, we cannot harness as of now. And out of that, we have utilized only 634 BCM. So the potential is there. If we have to do something. And Ministry has estimated that in 2020 we will need 1100 BCM for the population, and by 2025 1200 BCM, and by 2050 we will need 1447 BCM. Now 1447 BCM, as I said, total utilizable capacity is 1123. So this 1447, where from we will bring the deficit? It's really anybody's guess, unless we learn to manage our water sources, reduce our water sources, and replenish the water which we are otherwise flowing to the oceans and seas. Ocean water, sea water, it also has to receive water from the rivers. Otherwise, sea level will go down. Climate change is increasing the level of sea, and stopping the river water going into the sea will bring it down, balance. But that situation is not good. We cannot stop all the rivers from flowing. Rivers have to flow and ultimately discharge the water into this. What we have to do is how we can stop. What we have to think now, all of us have to think how we can stop wastewater going into the river so that river is alive. Let it be alive. River also is an entity, is a living being. So if we have given that status, let us respect that and stop discharging wastewater. Very easily said than done. Where is the wastewater going otherwise? In up to now, with all the best efforts, today the wastewater generated is 62,000 million liters, out of which only about 30% capacity we have developed for treatment. And how much of that is actually treated is anybody's guess. We don't know. We don't have much data that how much is actually working. And this is primarily because now we are shifting from, this is a centralized system, that you take all the water from every place and put it at one place and treat it. What now we are trying to say is that instead of centralized system, we should have distributed system. Treat the water there itself and reuse. So for example, the societies, the housing societies, now they include in their acts, wastewater is to be treated and at least 50% is to be reused. 50% treated water can be used for parks and gardens also outside. So effectively that will be zero discharge. For industry, we already have, in the industry which is located in the Ganga basin, we already have a Ganga charter. There where no industry can discharge a single drop of wastewater, treated or untreated, into Ganga. But is it really happening? Is it really feasible? We implement something, we make an act, we make a rule, and if we are not in a position to follow it by the people, by industry, it's a difficult thing. Few years back, when this started, zero liquid discharge started, now industries were being fined. So they had a hidden pipeline discharging somewhere else, or discharging the wastewater, trade effluent, highly contaminated, into the well, so that it contaminates the groundwater. We have a classical case of Bichdi. Bichdi is a place in Rajasthan where HSID manufacturing unit was there, and that was discharging through these wells. But there is a case of Sanganer. Sanganer is, everybody must be knowing, Sanganer is a place in Jaipur. Jaipur airport is Sanganer airport, known as that. And there it's a processing and dyeing, cotton textile dyeing. Now, all sorts of dyes are being discharged in groundwater. They ultimately reach groundwater. So that sort of contamination is happening. Then second question comes, per capita, how much water is available to us? We are having 2% of world's land resources, 4% of freshwater resources of the world, and we are supporting 18% population of the world. So what is happening is, the per capita availability with the rise of population is going down. As I said, 4,000 remains 4,000 BCM for the overall period. There may be a little bit here, there, less rain, heavy rain, and all those things. But more or less, the quantity available is same. But because the population is increasing, per capita availability of fresh water is reducing. And if it reduces to 1700 level, 1700 meter cube per annum per person, that state is called water stress state. And if it falls to 1000, then it is a water scarce country. Water scarcity line appears, stands there. And in India, as I said, we need 1147 by 2050. By 2050, we will be a scarce country. Water resource will be a scarce resource for India if we do not manage our resources right now. And sustainability or sustainable development, basic meaning was that we should not utilize, I mean, we should not do anything so that our future generations suffer because of our actions. We have to do something so that something is left for them to be used.